Gentlelady's time has expired, and I'll recognize the gentlelady from Oregon, Ms. Hoyle, for 5 minutes.
I thought it was, okay. Great.
You're next.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Crockett, thank you so much for being here today. I represent a lot of Forest Service land, as well as Oregon has the majority of forest land that the BLM controls. So we have a lot of federal lands, and as you know, we have a patchwork set of management. So literally Forest Service next to tribal managed lands, next to private managed lands, next to state lands. So when a fire starts on or in our federal forests and it comes into our cities, it comes into our tribal managed land, it's an issue. So we really want to make sure that we're working together in how we manage these lands. I think tribal co-management is a means to that end, in that I have the honor of representing 4 of Oregon's 9 federally recognized tribes, and I can tell you that their experience in managing forests for millennia would be something that I hope that the Forest Service can take advantage of. However, knowing that wildfire is one of your top priorities, and I agree in that every year we lose more and more acres to forests, and people and homes and species are in danger. But with DOGE's haphazard cuts and the chaos across the federal government, we're going into a fire season without the personnel that we need. The Forest Service recently had 217 probationary staff in Oregon fired because they didn't have fire in their job title. But you well know that we utilize people and bring them from other jobs into work in fighting wildfire and, again, preventing wildfire. These workers have been hired back. They show up to each day not knowing if they're going to be cut again by a reduction in force. And at Oregon State University, some forestry students may not graduate on time because their Forest Service internships have been canceled due to the DOGE hiring freeze. These are foresters that train with the Forest Service so that we can have the people that can go take care of our forests. The program was ended. And then the president's budget calls for eliminating Job Corps, but the Job Corps Civilian Conservation Center in my district helps get youth connected to future careers in forestry by providing training and work opportunities on public lands, and it's critical for filling workforce needs, also an opportunity for struggling youth. I had a Republican state representative in my district call me yesterday to say, what are you doing to help get the funding for the Wolf Creek Job Corps program back? It's really critical, as you know. So I'd love to work with you on that. Heard from small Oregon-based nonprofits who've had their Forest Service grants clawed back. Now they're sidelined, and they're not able to get out into the woods to do the work that we all agree are necessary to keep our community safe and to prevent larger wildfires. I've heard from local scientists that DOGE's $1 credit card limit for federal travel means that Forest Service staff can't go check cameras out in Frontier, Oregon, because it would require them to stay overnight or have a gas card. I want to know what we're going to do to fix that, because it's an issue. And if the Forest Service staff aren't allowed to do their jobs and the hiring pipeline is cut off and nonprofit partners are sidelined, where is the capacity coming from? And what can we do to help you make sure we have the capacity so people in my district don't end up dying in a fire?
So thank you for the question. Let me focus in on one part of it, and that's making sure that we have a ready workforce to be ready to respond to our wildfire season. And we've put an emphasis on that, making sure that, so we actually exempted any fire employee who had was at a GS-10 or below. We exempted them from being able to take one of the workforce reshaping efforts that have happened. And we have, so Congress appropriates the funding for us to hire 11,300 wildland firefighters. And we're taking that funding and well on our way to making sure that we've hired that capacity to be responsive to this wildfire season. So
My question is Job Corps and our internships with our Oregon State students.
okay, I don't have
Can I
this.
get an answer?
So I don't have
in
the
writing?
specifics on Job Corps, but look forward to working with you on the follow-up actions for it.
Thank you.
Gentlelady, time has expired, and if there are no further questions,